Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. We are looking at the VIX, and as you can see, we have slightly broke down out of a gathering spot that we had marked here. Support was around 1580. It is now our resistance area. Support is now around the 1572 area. So where are the trouble places for the VIX? Back to the upside, we would need to get back above that 1580, which is right where that 5 EMA is, right? So we need to watch that area. Now, if we should break the 1580 area, we could very well come back to around 1594, have trouble there. Again, at 1601, and if we break the 1601, 1606 could be a trouble place, and 1609. Now, if we break that 1609, we could very well go back to the 1617 and then the 1627, which is the ATR trailing stop, in my opinion. Strong support or resistance, right? Now, back to the downside, if we should break under 1572, we could very well come back to this level of 1563. Now, breaking that 1563 brings us back to this area around 1536. And if we break the 1536, 1528 could possibly be a support area for the VIX today. Y'all, in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. I say that so often, right? So, again, I look at the VIX only because it gives me an idea of what's going on with the SPY. We are now looking at the SPY, and the spot closed at 597.58. That is interesting, right? Considering we have made a pre-market high of 601. As we can see here, we got rejected on this candle. This is our, let's see, 5 o'clock candle here. So where are the trouble places? As we see here, price has been just gathering in this area here. We had a pre-market support at around $599.60, resistance around $600.14. Now, if we break this $600.14, we can come back to this area here, which is around $600.66. Have some trouble in that space. And if we should break that $600.98 or the 601 area, so we definitely need to watch that. Now, if we break the 601, we could possibly have trouble 601.40, and if we break that 601.77, breaking the 601.77 area, we could very well have trouble around 602.07. And I'm going to zoom back out because I want you to see that there's a lot of support in this area, literally a lot of support. So if we break this, I would say the 601.48, 601.78. If we break the 602.08, there's a lot of layers of resistance here. I would definitely watch the 602.74 or the 602.86 area for the SPY, and that's back to the upside. Now, if we break this level of 602.86, we could very well have trouble around 603.82. And if we break that level, we could possibly have trouble around 605.33. So those will be areas to the upside or resistance areas for the SPY. Now back to the downside, under 599.60, which is our support area. We have support here, strong support in my opinion, 599.23. We have two layers that I have marked and this 20 EMA. So we definitely need to watch it under 599.20 or 23. And if we should break that 599.98, if we break the 599.98, let me make sure I have that right. I'm gonna go back. Okay, there we are. Okay, so under $600.14, we could possibly find trouble or support 599.60. Under that level, we're saying 599.22 or 599.23. If we break that 598.98, and if we break that level 598.29, breaking that 598.04, and again here at 597.90. That 597.90, in my opinion, is an area I definitely need to watch. That's where my ATR trailing stop and my 50 EMA is. So under 597.72, we can come back to 597.10. Again, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale because when I'm in the trade, I need to know where my trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at NVIDIA, and NVIDIA was an inside day, but because the market was closed on yesterday, I'm going to still use it as an inside day candle. I will give the trigger to that if by chance we break above 138.50, which we have in pre-market thus far. We have an upside target of 139.58. We've made a target high of 139.27, so that's something to be mindful of. NVIDIA is trading in a gathering spot, so we have to be very careful because it could go in either direction. What's interesting is how we have those sellers at the top here. That's red. This area here is what's interesting in my opinion. Now, back to the downside. Where are the trouble places? Under 138.46, we could very well come back and find support here around 138.11. If we should break that 137.87, and if we break that level 137.72, which is the ATR trailing stop, if we break that level 137.46, and if we should break that 137.14, breaking that level brings us back to 136.67, which, and if we break that 136.42, which is right where our 200 EMA is, again on this 30-minute chart. So if you trade NVIDIA today, again, it is an inside day candle, actually from yesterday. So now to the downside, let me give the trigger. If by chance we break under this 135.46, we have a downside target for NVIDIA at 133.47. So that's something to be mindful of if you're trading NVIDIA today. It is going to be interesting. I say that often, y'all. The market is going to be interesting today. Now let's go to AMD just to see where we are. As of now, you can see we've been trading immediately. It's like my eye go to this area where I call the gathering spot or consolidation area. I call it the gathering spot because that's where price is gathered, right? So where are the trouble places? Back to the upside, we would need to get back above the 122.30. If we should break that area, we're going to possibly have trouble 122.46. And if we break that 122.63, if we break that level 122.89, those are areas that we have marked already. So those could be trouble places. It seems like we're having trouble in this area and have for a while. So if we break above 122.90, we could very well continue to the upside. Now, I do that often. Back to the downside, if by chance we break under 121.73, we can come back and find support 121.45. There's a lot of support in this one. Let's see, the 50 EMA as of now is at the 121.60. We could find support at 121.60, 121.50, or 121.46. It's really close, so that's strong support in my opinion. Now, if we break under the 121.46, we can come back to this gathering spot. Y'all see body of the candles are right here in this zone, and that's around 121.12. If we break that area 120.91 and breaking that 120.68, if by chance we break the 120.68, 120.09 could very well be a support area for AMD today. So if you're trading AMD, I say so often, y'all trade carefully, and once it goes against your why, make sure you get out. Tesla is Tesla. Let's say that we closed at 426.50. Let's see. This was from 120. Tesla was interesting. We made a 446 high, only to come back, as you can see, back to this gathering spot here. So it's not surprising to be back in this zone here. Support is around 434.54. Resistance is around 436.19. Price is trading in this zone here. So where are the trouble places? Back to the upside, 436.19 could be a trouble place. If we break that, 438.42, and if we should break that level, 442.29 could be a resistance area or trouble place. And if we should break that back at the 446 area, we could possibly have trouble again. If we break that 446, keep in mind we can come back to 452.08 and 454.30. And Tesla normally exceeds its ATR for the day, so trade carefully. Now back to the downside, under 434.54, we can come back to this zone here because that's where price is, as we see here, right? Around 432.60. If we break the 432.60, we can find support here at the 429.99 area, breaking that 428.01, which in my opinion is a few layers of support right here at the 428.16, 428.01. I would watch that level if I traded Tesla today, because if we break that, we can come back to 426.43 and find support, or 425.38 and breaking that 424 even. Now, if we break that 424, as you can see, something stopped us in this area before here, right? So if we break this 424, we can come back to 422.08, and again at 419.71, that could be a area of support for us. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are areas to the upside and to the downside. I say so often, y'all, in the market anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at Apple. Apple has come down and found support here at this 225.40 area. Resistance as of now is at our 225.88. So where are the trouble places? We're trading in this zone. Where are the trouble places? I will go back to what stopped us in this area around 226.40. If we break that area, we can come back to 226.63. And if we break that, this 200 EMA as of now is around 226.87. Now, if we break that 226.87, 227.17 is possibly a trouble place for Apple as of now. And if we should break that, I would definitely watch around the 227.57. And if we break that, I would say the 227.51. If we break that area, I would watch the 22777 or the 22778 area. And if we should break that 22805, and if we break the 22805, 22825 is where the ATR trailing stop and the 50 EMA. So I would say that could be a very strong area of resistance for us. Now back to the downside, it looks like we got rejected here and it's trying to come back to the downside for Apple. Now under 225.40 brings us back, can find support 224.94. And if we break that 224.94, 224.59, and again here at 224.31, breaking that level, 223.84. And if we should break that, 223.35. So if you're trading Apple today, I would say definitely trade carefully. Those are areas to the upside and to the downside. Now, Carvana was an inside day candle for yesterday, considering the market was closed. Again, I will give the trigger for that. If we break above 233.68, we have an upside target of 238.75. Now, to the downside, under 225.48, we have a downside target of 216.84. Carvana normally moves, let's see, about $14.71 per day. So what's interesting is, that target level is right there at that 5 and 50. We could very well decline and find support here. So if you're trading Carvana, it is an inside day candle. I would definitely trade carefully. Disney is also an inside day candle above 107.74, gives us a target of 108.64. Under 106.56 gives us a downside target 106.18. And Disney is a slow, I don't think it moves about $1.90 per day. So if you trade Disney, it is an inside day candle. I would definitely just watch it, keep a watch on it. Macy's is also an inside day candle above 14.17, gives us 14.19, not far away, right? Under 13.91 gives us 13.75 as a target for Macy's. So if you trade Macy's, it is an inside day candle. Netflix is also an inside day candle. I really like Netflix. Now it just reminds me of Tesla sometimes, how it moves. So if by chance we break above this 865.38, we have an upside target of 869.41. Under 852.07 gives us a downside target of 842.08. And let's see, right now it's trading in this gathering spot, as you can see here, right? So if you're trading Netflix, I would say trade carefully. Well, guess what? We've already met that target to the upside. I just realized that we've already met that upside target and we've gotten rejected at that 872.24 area. So we definitely need to watch it. It could very well lose support here and continue back to the downside. Again, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Netflix normally moves $21.93 per day. So that's something to be mindful of. If you're trading Netflix and you get in at the right time, out at the right time, that could be a very, very profitable trade. Pfizer PFE is also an inside day candle. Above 26.56 gives us 26.58 as a target. Under 26.21 gives us 25.96 as a downside target. So if you're trading Pfizer today, it is an inside day candle. Now, SPY is having some issues here at this $600.14 area. So my alert is going to go slightly above that. If by chance we break above this, I know we've broken through a layer of resistance now, so I definitely need to watch that. Again, y'all, today should be a very interesting day. We have a new president. We have a new president. Anything is possible. The market can move in either direction, so I say trade carefully. Once it goes against your why, make sure you have your stop loss, or whatever it is that you choose to use, make sure you have the discipline to execute that, y'all. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. If you could, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.